This is a video I've wanted to do for so long now, but it's taken me so much time because I've had to gather the evidence to actually factually demonstrate and prove my findings and my point. So what exactly is going on here? Right, well, it's been claimed for so many years now that the Radeon 9000 series, or rather R300 and the likes, are better graphics cards than the GeForce 5, or rather GeForce FX Series. Most notably when it comes to DX9 stuff. But this is simply not true. Sure, people would have assumed and thought this at launch, especially with all the benchmark figures and stuff that came out, but as time has gone on, we're actually seeing that all along, the GeForce FX card was the true champion, especially for DX9 stuff. Fortunately, I don't have the fastest GPU of 2003, the GeForce FX 5950 Ultra. So, in the scope of these tests and everything here, we're going to be talking about the 5900 Ultra and the 9800 Pro. Unfortunately, again, I don't have the fastest of the fastest, the 5950 Ultra, but these are close enough. So, to start off with, why is the 5900 Ultra better? Well, it has double the VRAM. First off, that's like double the memory power. The lowly Radeon 9800 Pro only has 128 megabytes of video memory. Do you think that was enough by 2004? Wrong. With 256 megabytes of video memory, this thing would last you for so many more years to come, especially when you wanted to run games like Far Cry or Fear. I mean, everybody knows that having more VRAM means more performance, duh. I mean, really, ATI couldn't figure that out even by 2003. People were so blind back then. But again, we also didn't know that games needed more VRAM, and that was going to happen very quickly. So, okay, we can forgive ATI a little bit here, but what's next, we really can't forgive them for. Because not only did Nvidia give you double the VRAM, which is double the performance, they also clocked the memory at 425 megahertz. And what did ATI do with this dinky little thing here? They clocked it at 340 and just walked away. They just gave up. Like, are you serious? I can't believe nobody talked about that back in the day. Like, that's so slow. So you still think that the Radeon 9800 Pro is faster than this thing? The memory is literally like almost 100 megahertz slower. And it's halved. But it just gets even worse. Again, I can't believe nobody was talking about this, but it's literally like hidden in plain sight. Not only did the first of the high-end Radeon 9000 series, the 9700 Pro, have shim issues which caused the cards to die very prematurely, but when they finally fixed the shim issues with the 9800 Pro, all they did is they just gave the core clock a little boost up to 380 megahertz. 380. Okay, well, you know what? That's actually kind of reasonable. That's pretty fast by 2003 standards, right? Yeah, it's actually not that bad. 450. 450 megahertz. Again, that's almost 100 megahertz faster. And nobody was talking about this. Clearly, this is the superior video card. There's also another huge problem that we've kind of ignored over the years. I'm going to go into more details when we actually do the benchmarks, but this card is literally wasting energy in your house, in your computer, and on itself. This card is producing like such crazy high frame rate that it's wasted. The human eye can only see like 30 FPS. And so this thing getting like 120 FPS or more in certain situations is literally slowly like cooking itself to death because it's just wasted. Who needs more than 30 FPS? Come on. Meanwhile, the 5900 Ultra is using all of its power very conservatively to make sure that you're getting reasonably low frame rates so that it's not wasting your energy, and more importantly, it's not harming the environment by generating useless frames that your eyes are not going to even see, because again, we can't really see much past 30 FPS. So that right there makes the 5900 Ultra more energy efficient too, because again, it's not wasting energy on useless frames that your eyes don't even see, unlike this stupid thing down here. But enough with the ranting. It's time to prove that this thing is a eco-friendly, energy to performance conscious beast. In terms of the bench setup, I did not have enough time to wait for my much better Prescott 3.6 gigahertz Pentium 4 setup that I've ordered for several $100s to come in the mail from eBay. So we're just gonna have to stick to this not quite as good AMD Opteron 180 with 2 gigs of DDR RAM, 400 megahertz dual channel, and some sort of stupid, smelly VIA chipset that's poopy and not good. But nevertheless, I think it'll be good enough to at least illustrate some of my points.
For our first test, we have Doom 3, which is an OpenGL title from 2004, running at 1024 by 768 with the high preset. Now, the 9800 Pro is actually getting respectable frame rate here. You know what? 49 FPS, that's still within reason. But the 5900 Ultra provides you with a cinematic experience of 37 FPS, which I think is a lot better. That gives you a lot more time to soak in the details of this beautiful dystopian looking game. Next up we have Street Racing Syndicate. You can see my mixture of settings shown here on the screen. Now the 9800 Pro is getting about an average of basically 60 FPS, which is kind of wasteful because again, you don't really need more than 30 FPS. So this thing is chugging along, wasting your hydro build. Did I mention that these cards just get bad VRAM? Like ATI couldn't even think to cool their stupid slow memory. Unlike Nvidia, the superior Nvidia, which did cool their much faster video memory. So if you buy one of these things used, it's probably going to have bad VRAM. So have fun with that. Like so many of these cards actually unironically have bad VRAM. Anyways, the glorious 5900 Ultra does see a max at 61, but the average is 42, which provides you with a much more conservative frame rate that your eyes will be more than able to see, that feels great, it's cinematic, and allows you to really enjoy the graphics. Yeah, the graphics of the game. Yeah. And we're going to finish the third and final benchmark with my favorite game, Half-Life 2. The settings are all maxed out for both cards. Now, actually, what's interesting here is that the 5900 Ultra is so efficient and so good that it doesn't even need to use DX9 to render the game. It can use DX 8.1. So an entire feature set which would just use more power, more consumption, and degrade the card even further is just removed from the equation. Unlike the stupid 9800 Pro, which needs DirectX 9 to render this game. Like, really? And all it does is it gets you an extra 10 FPS. Which, by the way, the 5900 Ultra did disappoint me a little bit here because the average was 61. So, again, we're right on the border of what should be reasonable and unreasonable. The 9800 Pro, 70 FPS average. That's just ridiculous. Like, what a waste of frames. But either way, the card didn't need to use DirectX 8.1, so that's an entire feature set gone, and therefore it should save a lot of energy and performance. So in conclusion, GeForce FX good, Radeon 9000 series bad.
Hello, this is going to be my first Minecraft video. First, I'll be taking you a tour around one of my many houses. You gonna know it? Yeah, I have loads of houses. I tend to lose track of where they are. But I've made a mine that dug to a pre-made mine, and I have so many resources, I can use gold as my wall. That's right, gold. This is basically not even my house, it's just a zombie evacuation center. But look at that. And this will probably be like the only video I do on my netbook. It's because we're in Florida. Look at that. Here, I'm gonna make the